oh, come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel.
Greetings, family, and welcome to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? Come on, Errol. I really do pray, family, that you are extremely well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life very much on your own terms. Special shout out to my co-host Errol and to all you guys who send him hugs and kisses and all that. So much appreciated. There's a lot that's been happening, family. I know you saw, everyone saw the showdown between Trump and Zelensky, and I actually thought there was something a bit deeper going on there. I keep telling you, these guys are in a secret society war. So everything, we have to look at everything from that angle. And I think there's a lot that us as African revolutionaries, Africans who want to liberate the motherland, can learn from what is happening in Ukraine between Russia and the divided states, because it's all about minerals. It's not about the Ukrainian people. It's not about the Russians being, that story is so deep, family, so deep, but it's not about the people. It's about the natural resources that are under the Ukrainian soil. But before I even get into that, family, special shout out to the sponsor of today's show, Azaria. Now, Azaria is a cognitive therapist as well as an author. Among many other things, and a civil engineer as well. And he's written this book called No Reason in Hell to Believe. And it's basically looks at the journey we're all going through right now, moving from 3D to 5D and what kind of has to take place. And it's super interesting, family. It talks about the importance of shedding. And he really goes deep into shedding, because I think that is one of the major tools of transitioning to the reality. And he also creates a really clear definition of hell, identifying it as a place we create and inhabit. And he helps us to comprehend the difference between believing and knowing. So if you are in transition right now, family, because remember, I keep saying, it's our mind and our heart that has to change. And once our mind and our heart changes, then our 3D reality must shift. But there's so much that we have to release, so many false realities. And he talks about moving to the 0 degree. So if you want to know what the 0 degree is, definitely get the book. It's available through Gumroad. I'll put all the links below, family, so that you can get yourself a copy. And if you're interested in sponsoring a show, definitely reach out to me, mumbi.seraki@gmail.com. So you see what's been happening, family, with Ukraine and between Russia and the divided states has been basically a tug of war for the minerals in Ukraine. And I mean, Ukraine was also being used for many other things, that involve things that I probably won't be able to say on this platform. But I feel like the way Zelensky came at Trump, he had been sent by countries like the divided kingdom, who are part of the globalist cabal. And he had been told to have, to have this hardline stance, to create kind of a spectacle in front of the media, thinking that, Trump would go the gentlemanly way and things like that. But that didn't go their way. And everything, this tug of war, family, because you've seen how Europe and the divided states have actually fallen apart. Everything right now is about the minerals under the ground. From Europe to Ukraine, even to Africa. And you can see how the great lengths that these so-called superpowers will go to ensure that they have access to the minerals. I don't know if Ukraine has lithium or coltan. I'm not sure what it is, but it's one of those, and they have it in a very huge supply. And you can see that without any kind of personal, spiritual, or physical backing, the Ukrainians have to go to either one superpower or bully or another. But they can't choose themselves because they don't have the power to do so, family. And I think this should be a wake-up call for the motherland. As much as we're talking about changing our presidents, bringing in younger, more Pan-Africanist, more nationalist, more loyal, more Africa-focused, focused on our people, bringing us to the level of being, first world countries and stuff like that. We have to recognize that in every single country there are so many interests because of our natural resources. If you look at Kenya, for example, family, over 5,000 organizations were being sponsored by US aid, from education to accounting to forestry to seeds. They had their hand in everything. And what is emerging now, family, from what Doge has, discovered from like the US aid agency, is that the divided states citizens' money was being used by the globalist cabal that includes the divided kingdom, the Vatican, the Obamas of this world, the Clintons of this world. It was being used by them to control the entire world, to run the entire world, family. That was where they were getting the money from. To divide and conquer, to put in place certain regimes across Africa and remove others that were beneficial to the people. And they have been doing this since the 1900s. And there's even allegations that there were certain monies that were going directly into the divided kingdom's coffers or banks or whatever. And this had been happening for the 1900s. But so that basically means that the divided states was literally paying tax to the divided kingdom, or was literally still a colony. And now that that has been dismantled, we have to be sensitive to the fact that these guys have spent close to 100 years to secure the minerals, the gold, the oil, the lithium, the coltan, the rubies on the motherland through their brotherhoods, through colonialism, which was hard power, and they penetrated different, they used the missionaries and the so-called explorers to document everything, where the gold was, where the special lands were, the sacred lands and all that. Then they brought in the army to reinforce the territory they had claimed, and even had a conference, 1884, to discuss who got what, because they didn't want to fight amongst themselves. Then the fake hijacked independence, because the more you look at it, family, it looks like majority of African countries had their independence hijacked, and a brotherhood, a member of the brotherhood was installed. And for the few who weren't members of the brotherhood, they were taken out. But I'll do a whole show on that. So through the fake independence, they now created this soft power where they left their militaries in place, but their militaries kind of stepped back and became almost invisible and said they were here for training, like here in Kenya, when they're actually here mining, and they've been mining since before our so-called independence. And then now they started the neocolonialism of money and corporations and aid and debt, a whole matrix, family, to make sure that we were kept like on that hamster wheel, going round in circles and never fully able to liberate ourselves. So my feeling would be, family, that Africa, we are extremely powerful spiritually. We have very powerful minds, as long as we come together with a unity of mind. But we will not be free if we merely transition from one president to another. We must transition from one president to the another with the aim of actually shifting from the democratic system, which is literally a neo-colonial system, into a whole new system. Because as long as we have minerals in the ground, then the foreign armies will still be here, the foreign interference will still be here. And we have to look at the formulas that are working, like Burkina Faso. And I mean, Burkina Faso is an excellent example, but he also could be, I think he has to have, Vladimir as his godfather. But he's doing amazing things. And I think so many African youth keep saying, why can't we have an Ibrahim Traore in Ghana, in Kenya, in Zimbabwe, in South Africa? But we have to really look at the fact that we have never, ever been free, family. That it has all been a game and a sham, and it's been about our resources. And as long as we keep the systems that they have put in place, then we will never get our resources back. And there's a lot I could actually say about this family, but I will leave that as a story for another day. Especially, I wanted to give you with Kenya as an example of how, things that are intended for our good can actually come, for our bad, can actually come for our good. Like Kenya has the most progressive, dynamic constitution in the world. It's almost like a split between maybe the divided states and the divided kingdom. And they did a lot of things to make sure it would actually slow us down. They thought it would actually entrap us. But if we were to implement it to the letter, it would actually be a source of liberation and prosperity. So there are ways and means, but everything has to come. We have to be the authors of the motherland, of the new dispensation in terms of how we want to run our communities, our societies, our minerals. And we have to start discussing how will we protect our minerals when we have so many foreign armies on African soil. Let me know in the comments below, family, and I'll definitely follow up. I'll do a follow-up show on this. There's so much that we can discuss about, the move from colonialism to neocolonialism. And, special shout out to the sponsor of today's show, Azaria. And he's written this amazing book, family, No Reason in Hell to Believe, which is based on literal meaning and actual events. It identifies a place as, hell as a place of here and now. And for me, the most powerful thing that I found when I was reading it is it really helps us to transition our thoughts and our mind from 3D to 5D, from where we are in this reality now to that more sophisticated way of thinking that I keep pointing about. And it really stresses the importance of shedding and gives a great explanation of what shedding is and how you can do it and its effect and stuff like that. As I said, it identifies hell as a place we create and inhabit. And it really helps us to move from believing to knowing and to understanding, overstanding and understanding the difference of both. Because as creators, we have to move into the known, knowing, and leave believing, which is living in a lie behind. You can get his book on Gumroad, family. The link is down below. Definitely support our brother. And if you're interested in sponsoring a show, definitely reach out, mumbi.saraki@gmail.com. We actually have a special promotion going on at the moment. Until next time, family. Tuko pamoja.
To all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines.